Phantom's Hope by Rene 4567. Chapter 5. Chapter 4. To stand before the child's grave. Summary. Everyone in Amity knows now. None of them like to know, but they remember. It may come as a shock to those from outside Amity, only just learning of the damage ghosts can cause, and the pain that had been inflicted on the small town. But the town's graves are filled with flowers and gifts. In fact, selling flowers in Amity is a highly respected job, and children selling flowers from fields can make excellent pocket change. How hard is it to grow flowers in a land of death? There are graves in Amity that get visited more often than others. A lunch lady who worked at Casper High, a technology professor who lived at the edge of town, a girl whose ashes were flown back from Hollywood, a starving gypsy who always foretold wrong, a hunter who was hunted, and especially all children who died young, much too young. Despite this, Phantom never had a grave. If asked, no one could tell you how exactly Phantom died, nor could they tell you where or when. Phantom was a protector, a guardian spirit, and when they weren't turning a blind eye, he was a child in over his head, fighting beings much more powerful and older than he in order to protect his home. No one has ever found Phantom's grave to lay flowers, but that doesn't mean they haven't tried. Some knew there likely wouldn't be one to find. Some knew that the case of Phantom's death was one of those times where no one found a body. No child would ever be reported missing. No trace of the events that led to a loss of an extremely precious life, an even greater death. Just an accident, and a breathing memory. In fact, when Phantom disappeared, Amity constructed their own private shrine to remember him. The outside was made wooden just to shelter the gifts from rain. The floor was a tombstone engraved with his symbol. There was a second smaller tombstone to it. It was the same symbol, representing the little girl that had been spotted next to him every now and then. Around the altar were various flowers and gifts, and in the center was a picture frame. The picture in the frame held a rare photo that was taken of Danny and Danny at the park, the elder reading a book on stars to the younger. And maybe many of the town had seen that book in someone else's hands. Maybe if someone zoned in on the digital copy of the photo, they'd find a stylized F instead of a P right after the word Danny on the cover of that book. Maybe just maybe they didn't on purpose. Maybe when the townsfolk finished the grave, they would watch in bated breaths as the Phantoms, tears in their eyes, walked up to it with a different picture clasped in their hands. And maybe when they left, there was a second photo sitting on next to that frame, buried in flowers. And maybe if you moved some of the flowers away, as some often did, they'd find a picture somewhat out of place on a tombstone. For the two children in it were still alive, weren't they? In the picture, Daniel Phantom, call me Danny, and his cousin Danielle Phantom, Danny with an I, peacefully sleeping on top of his bed, surrounded by a star-covered room. In between them, a book on constellations laid open on its last page, the cover hidden, though known by all who see it. No one ever found Phantom's grave, but that is okay. Amity Park was quite used to the dead walking away.